Welcome to the home of the Chiefs podcast, where the Chiefs are our home. I am your host, Clinton Petrie, as always, and I'm back with my lovely co-host, Shannon Brush.
Hello.
We had a week hiatus of our episodes, so I could debut the special guest episode I had. So thank you for taking that week off.
And yeah, she did great.
Yep, definitely had a great time talking to her, and hope to do that with whoever else is interested and try to keep that going.
Yeah.
I know a lot of other kind of podcasts have that kind of built in whenever they have a special guest, like, how did you get to be a fan, where you live, how does it affect your family, that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, and it's fun just to kind of learn like how you became a Chiefs fan and kind of your whole journey and everything.
Mm-hmm. So I've noticed that quite a lot recently with any other podcasts. Bring on a guest and they just talk about their stuff. So that makes me want to continue that here, because I know that people are interested in that because it keeps being brought up in conversations.
Oh yeah.
So we will start today's show as we always do. Chiefs Twitter news. Talk about what's gone on over the course of this week. I think we ought to start with Monday, the first day of the week. And the notable thing about the Chiefs is, for our viewing audience,
it's so cool.
The Royals
it's so
had
unique.
The Chiefs Night at the K, and first 20,000 got these lovely flags. So hopefully anybody out there, I know that game didn't end well. It was a pretty entertaining game to watch.
Yeah, so I'm surprised at how good it was, actually.
So hopefully, I think anybody who went to that game ended up getting the flag that they wanted.
Oh, so yeah.
I don't think anybody really left there unhappy that they didn't get one. I saw several groups of people at a time, and they still got all of them at once. So
yeah,
that was a nice thing. I know the Royals aren't doing that well this year, but it was very nice to have a winning Kansas City team in the stadium.
And it got people to go there too. It got like more support for the Royals because of that reason. Mm-hmm. And that's I love that. I love that like collaboration between the two teams.
Yep. And so they started before the game bringing out the players, bringing out Mahomes and Travis and Andy Reid like they promised, and then he had the trophy and they were celebrating and talking.
Travis's pitch.
Mm-hmm. Travis,
he did good finally.
He did good by failing, actually.
Yeah.
He keeps talking, my foot slipped. I almost fell, and I would have just done the same thing. It would have spiked in the ground, but kind of worked against him. Maybe the original throw would have sailed into the netting or something.
Yeah. So, the pressure was on.
Yep.
He delivered.
He delivers in football what in the baseball sense you had to give him a second thought.
Yeah, you had to give him a second chance.
So that was fun. That was a nice way to kick off the game, and the players were still there. You got to see him on Jumbotron hanging out.
Yeah.
Creed and Travis was being a ham in the background like he always is. Just teammates hanging out with each other outside of work. Chiefs are kind of known to be like that anyway.
Yeah.
So it's very cool.
Yeah, it's cool to watch your city come together like that. Even in like smaller times, like we had the draft and everyone came together and the parade, but knowing that we come together in those smaller times too.
Yeah, I think most of the players there were already on the team before, but if they had brought some rookies, or just in the sense of those players already, they're getting to be closer teammates, you know, before they go up to training camp and have to spend weeks actually bunked together in a small dorm rooms, like college kids again.
Yep.
So that's always fun to see, and you know that's building towards trust and like performance during the season, because you got that.
It's like a brotherhood at that point.
Yep. that's exactly it. So I think our next topic, we're gonna have a couple not so fun topics, I guess. There's been a lot of talk. It's the 300-pound stone cold elephant in the room. Where is Chris Jones? Why is he not being with his teammates right now? And at the time of this recording, it was the ring ceremony last night, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes. But Chris Jones was not even there.
Oh,
so
wow.
A lot of members of the team thought that he would be there, and he wasn't. And he had already been in Kansas City earlier in the week, I believe. Just not anything related to the team.
That is interesting.
So it's not saying, he's completely ditching, he's flaking 100%. None of these are required events. I mean, he was at the White House, so
yeah,
maybe it's kind of deal where, something like that is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Getting jewelry with a bunch of other guys in a room. Maybe that
wasn't his jam. Like, they had a red carpet and everything. Like, maybe he just was like, I don't want to do it. I don't know. You don't know.
So most of the Chiefs Kingdom / the Chiefs organization as a whole are going to be kind of watching out for the next couple days and the next few weeks once training camp, mandatory part of the camp, before they all pack up to go to St. Joe. If he shows up for those, because if he doesn't, then he's missing out on money and stuff related to his contract for this year. That would be concerning. So I don't think it's going to get to that point, and I really don't think that any of the Chiefs organization believes that we'll get to that point.
I hope not.
It was really this situation after 2019. They won the Super Bowl when they had re-signed him and re-signed Mahomes back to back. But it had kind of been like that before that signing. Like, oh, why isn't he being available? Why isn't he, like, whatever? And then it still got done. So it was all semantic at that point. So
that's true.
I think much of the kingdom will be assuming that's the case for here. But if he's listening, Chris, we want you back. I'm sure the team does too. So you know what you're doing. We ain't too concerned about your actions. They speak louder on the field than you need to outside in the public. So take care of business, and I know you're going to be ready in September and then through February at Arrowhead, wherever the Super Bowl is next, to kick some butt. So so speaking of the ring ceremony, the thing I want to bring up that essentially had its conclusion with the ring ceremony last night was Ja'Marr Chase being asked about quarterbacks and who he thought was the best, and somebody called out Patrick by name, and then he said, Pat who? And then all of us in the kingdom were like, oh, screenshot, save this. And we're like, oh man, how long is it going to take before Mahomes shows his, whatever you want to call it?
Before he slides back.
Yes,
he's like
he shoves it in your face,
poking
like,
it back.
I got you. But did not take long. It was this week. It was last night. Once he had received his Super Bowl ring, he tweeted out that too with his 2 rings. So Ja'Marr Chase, bud,
he's just trying to get attention.
I think I know what you were trying to do, but you just didn't do it right.
Yeah.
You wanted to hype up your quarterback, but you put down another quarterback, and that's not what you do. And you have to always preface, like, I'm not trying to do this. I'm not doing this. we'd watched that one video the other day of Saquon Barkley. He was talking about, oh yeah, Mahomes is the great, and then right afterwards is like, I'm not slighting Daniel Jones. Don't y'all quote me like that and use this against me.
Yeah, he's like, I have to add that at the end.
So you've got players that are so self-aware like that, like, oh, I cannot give you any soundbite whatsoever because it will explode in my face in some way.
Yep.
That has always happened in the NFL. If you spoke on something, you were going to get your just desserts afterwards.
Yeah.
You were going to get swindled the other way and surprised, but humbled, I guess, the better term.
Yeah, humbled.
So I hope Mr. Chase has been humbled and he takes this and does really well in the next season and not be petty about it instead.
Yeah.
I mean, Mahomes, he can be very petty. much of the kingdom can, but we don't let it come out right away. It's like we'll save it for when it has to be exposed.
Yeah,
when you've been petty first.
Exactly. That's funny.
Yeah. So we saw a few videos this morning about the rings.
Yeah.
So they're fancy.
Wow.
They got an
just
inside,
wow.
like a capsule.
Yeah, they have it like opens up on top and there's like the field and like, oh my goodness, there's so much detail that went into that. Like, wow.
Yeah, I had heard that like past Super Bowls and stuff, the rings weren't necessarily like extravagant. I think it was about like the time when Tom Brady finally won Super Bowl again within the 2010s decade.
Yeah.
But now, like, it might cost a team like almost $5 million for like rings for all the intricacies, specials on it, the special ring, the special diamonds, the karat gold, the inscriptions, all that extra detail. Is it getting to be like really expensive?
Yeah.
So the Chiefs spend it, like they go all out.
They do.
They had a 50-year stretch where they didn't get to do something like this. So
that is very true.
It's not a shock that they're going to celebrate. The Midwest likes to celebrate when they get their chance.
I love how they thought about every detail too of that ring. It's just there's so much detail, so much thought went into it.
Yeah.
So many hours planning, like where each thing would go and where and how it would look together.
Yep.
Like that's insane to me.
Yep. So many diamonds to make up everything.
Yeah. Yep.
The player number and
do they have rubies inside of it too? Because it was red. There was red in there.
Yeah.
I bet there's rubies in there too.
All of it. Yeah. Clark went all out, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then I know that like the other employees of the Chiefs get a version of it too. So
yep.
They get a reward for their hard work just as much as the players on the field do, and they wouldn't have that any other way. It perfectly encapsulates it.
Yep, it really does.
So let's hope that a year from right now they're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, we'll be sitting here talking about how like crazy this next one is.
Yep, everything gets to be deja vu while we talk about this and this and this and this. Oh, we got to do the exact same thing this year, aren't we lucky fans? So yeah, I think that's about it for the Chiefs Twitter news first segment.
Yep.
When we come back from break, we will be talking about the 2019 postseason run and the exciting conclusion before ultimately the world decided to explode.
Crumble.
What up, KC? On the heels of yet another Kansas City Super Bowl victory, we have an awesome opportunity for you to broadcast your business to the local Kansas City market. We've created something called Kansas City Sports Company, which is a sports media hub for multiple live shows all of which cover all the local Kansas City teams. Now, we have 30-second ad spots, 60-second ad spots, we have event sponsorships, studio sponsorships, show sponsorships, and much, much more. This is a great opportunity for you to start early with us and broadcast your business to a very dedicated, very enthusiastic Kansas City audience. Contact me or hit the Contact Us link on our website to learn more about this opportunity.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Home of the Chiefs podcast for the second segment, where we will be talking about the 2019 to 2020 postseason run, which results in, you, the viewers and the listeners, can't see it, but she is very well familiar with what has been my computer backgrounds for the last almost 4 years now.
Ever since that year.
Which is the Super Bowl 54 champions wallpaper. So, how that came to be, we left off talking about getting into the postseason, which was being promoted to the second seed in the playoffs thanks to Ryan Fitzpatrick in the Miami Dolphins at that time.
Yep.
Allowing the Chiefs to have a bye week, to not have to play in the wild card.
Yep.
Which then had the Houston Texans beating Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills
right
back then to come to Arrowhead for our first postseason game there. So, a lot of that's kind of a blur.
It really is, yeah.
Because a lot of the pre-game and stuff like that kind of gets washed away with that game and the history in it alone. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to come up with some talking points for, like, I was excited. Part of me was like, I don't know how good the Chiefs can be.
I remember you were nervous. We were both nervous.
Because we had already lost to the Texans before that same season. And, I mean, we got beat the year before that. We had been able to break, curses by getting to the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
But you still had, like, some doubts or, like, you could still
it's
be
like,
beatable.
Are we going to be beat? Is this the game that's going to happen?
Like, this team is magical, but some teams can, remove the magic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that game, as most of us know, started off with the first quarter. The Chiefs did not get anything going. They had a blocked punt that allowed the Texans to score more, and then a short yardage score. So after one quarter of football, the Texans were up 21-0, and I think we were
frustrated.
We were really mad that this is not.
We were like, what is happening? Where is everyone? Do they know they're playing a game?
So that game was brutal to start with. You're like, man, what is my team doing?
Yeah.
I've seen my team do better than this. I don't expect. I guess I expect better from this.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. They're just not playing well. Andy Reid is the king of having his teams play well when he gets a week to sit at home.
Yeah, that's right. They did have a week.
So what's going on here? Why aren't we doing what we would normally do? We would normally come out and have everything figured out right away because of all this game planning and stuff. So second quarter starts, they get 3 more points, and then that is when all hell broke loose for the Texans, and then Arrowhead became a raucous,
really loud
place.
Very loud.
So we get one score, and then we get another score, Travis Kelce, and then we get another score,
I remember
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, everyone was going nuts because Kelce was like,
and then the quarter's not over. We're going into halftime. Let's go ahead and take the lead with a 4th score. All while the defense also stopped the Houston Texans by that point.
Yeah.
So it's halftime, and the score is 28-24. And in the first quarter, when it ended, it was 21-0.
Yeah.
And your team, the Kingdom, had 0. Not the 21 that made it even. They had the 0 and put up 28 in the second quarter alone. They had already done this.
Yeah.
Against the Raiders. So they know how to turn it on, but they were
it's just a matter of when.
They were starting to learn how much and when.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've kind of seen it take place during the regular season the last few years of you're questioning, are the Chiefs coasting right now? Are they doing are they performing their most like whimsical plays? Are they doing the most wild things? Or are they just playing very vanilla?
Yeah.
Just doing bare minimum stuff until they get to the playoffs, and then they'll open up
everything.
Yep, expose everything they got. So halftime concludes. We are raucous because we're like, this game is different. This game has changed. This game is about to be a score fest. And I don't know how and by what teams, but we are in for a show.
Yep.
So it's 28-24. Third quarter begins. Chiefs get a point or get a touchdown, miss the extra point. Harrison. Poor Harrison.
Yeah.
We should have seen it all back then.
We should have.
And then third quarter's continuing. Chiefs score another touchdown to go up 41-24. And then the Houston Texans were like, oh, let's get one touchdown. So it was 41-31 going into the fourth quarter.
41 points going into the fourth quarter.
It was the two teams at that point were combined 72 points.
Dang.
And in the fourth quarter, the Chiefs scored 10 more points of their own.
Dang.
So the final score was Chiefs 51, Texans 31. A combined 82 points.
Wow. Isn't that the game? Is that the game they ran out of fireworks?
Yes, it is. That is some great memory you got.
I knew it. I pulled that one out. When you said that, when you were like, yeah, they're getting up there in points, I was like, yeah, I remember that's the game they ran out of fireworks.
Yeah.
By the fourth quarter, I think.
Yep. So imagine that. If the Chiefs offense could have handled stuff better within the first quarter, or if the Chiefs defense had fully stopped the Texans within the first quarter, that game is like 60-0.
Yeah.
Like it became.
Yeah, if they could have gotten like 2 scores in the first quarter, then
it became nuts. Like it was unreal. Like I said, halfway through, I was like, "What the heck is my team doing?" Oh my God, my team is amazing. Why are they putting on this? They're putting on such a show. They're giving me a heart attack. So, Chiefs win. The Chiefs win.
Chiefs win.
And it's not Tom Brady going to Foxborough. It's the Tennessee Titans upsetting them and coming here.
Yep. With
Mr. Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and a bunch of other dudes.
Mm-hmm.
But the main story I kept hearing, and I specifically remember this because of the visiting fans that were sitting next to us.
Oh, yeah.
They were so convinced
Memorable.
Tennessee was going to win this game because Ryan Tannehill was Miami Dolphins quarterback and the Super Bowl was in Miami, Florida. So that had to line up perfectly that somehow Ryan Tannehill is going to be a quarterback for a Super Bowl contending team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've said that phrase in 2023. It sounds exactly the same as it did that day in 2020.
Yep.
Was I still a little nervous for parts of the game? Absolutely. I'm always nervous. If I'm not winning 49-0,
yeah,
I still am like, well, can we make it a little, can we stretch the lead even more than that? But like all the other games that we watched the Chiefs, and we'll get to the game of all games here where the same activity occurs.
Yep.
The Chiefs fall behind 10-0 thanks to a field goal and Derrick Henry. And then the Chiefs were able to put up a touchdown of their own that first quarter to be down 10-7. So I was a little apprehensive, and the Titans fans next to us were a little confident.
Yeah, a little confident.
And then it would take the second quarter to really flip the energy around.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tennessee, they did get the first score of that quarter. They did go up 17-7, and it was a left tackle touchdown catch.
Oh,
and I was like, oh man, they're doing trick plays.
Yeah.
What have I always said about trick plays? If you got to use trick plays, it means you're not very confident you're going to beat us with regular plays.
Is it going to work out or not?
If you have to pull out trick plays, you're not very confident in your regular plays.
Mm-hmm.
Having much luck. So that's kind of what happened the rest of the game. The Chiefs put up another touchdown to bridge that gap, 17-14. And then the moment that all of Chiefs Kingdom will remember in infamy, Mahomes running for that touchdown. He drops the ball, picks it up, falls in the end zone. Chiefs up 21-17. Finally have the lead in the game just before halftime.
Yep.
Repeat of the Texans game, went from being down to having the lead before halftime and getting the ball back in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
By that point, the Titans fans around us were pretty disheveled.
Oh yeah.
And
they knew it was over.
They tried to stay, and they stayed, and they tried to stay as optimistic as they could.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Chiefs just made it 35-17. And by that point, they knew the game was pretty much done.
Yep.
So, and the highlight of all this was that my niece,
she got to be there,
who was just in our last episode, was there. She was not next to us because tickets are not nice and always let you be in the same location.
She was in the same row, and she was on the end, and she got to talk to an elderly lady.
Keep her company.
Lady, yeah.
Keep her safe. I would try to look back and make sure that she's safe. She'd give me a thumbs up or something like that. So,
yep.
So yeah, my memory from that was we weren't watching the trophy ceremony and stuff within Arrowhead. We
left.
We booked it to our car because girlies are cold.
Yeah,
they tend to be like that. But we raced to the car, and I'm driving, and we're listening and watching it on my phone. And I got really emotional about it. Like, dang, I actually get to see this in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that, not elderly, but older generations within my family had wanted and never got to see.
Yeah, the past generation.
So it's really emotional thinking about that and just being like, wow, this is it. This is exciting. Not even really confident or feeling scared or excited or happy or anxious about the game itself or who we were playing, which ended up being San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
But I really didn't have any thoughts or feelings that, oh no, we're going to lose, or oh man, we're going to kick butt.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I won't get used to that now, because now it's the assumption, oh, we're going to totally kick butt. We have to. Look who we have.
Yeah.
But by that point, we were still in that naive stage of getting to be, just to experience the ride as it is. The scary moments, the exciting moments, the happy moments, the bittersweet moments, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So just got to experience it
We
100%.
Yep, we laughed, we cried, had a good time. Cool experience.
Yep.
Being in the same city was cool too.
Yep.
So everyone was doing fireworks and celebrating, and
and then there was that wait for the Super Bowl, which allows you to take the form and deliver your promised story from
the story
the whole time.
The story. So at the time I was working full time at A. Dillard's, and I was working at the Lancome counter, which is a beauty counter, and I would like do people's makeup, do skincare, sell them products, everything like that. And one day we were just kind of working and chilling around, kind of trying to get some sales on the floor. And it was Damian Williams' wife came in with a group of people, and she walked by our counter, and she like noticed like our like makeup bar and stuff, and she's like, I kind of want to get a makeover. I kind of want to get my makeup done. So we were like, heck yeah, let's do it. I wasn't the one that set her on the chair. It was Sheila, my coworker. My sweet coworker Sheila was the one that was doing her makeup, because she was like the same age, same like type of person. So they were like doing her makeup and everything. And she was just kind of talking about like, I think she was going to like a Super Bowl event or like a pre-party, something along those lines. I can't really remember what it was. It was something to do with like a party for the Super Bowl.
Right.
So she wanted to get all freshed up, all made up for that and glammed up. So we were like, yes. So Sheila had her sit in the chair, and she was just kind of talking about everything. She gets a call on her FaceTime, and it's Damian Williams. And she answers. I was just kind of sitting back at this time because I didn't really want to intrude and be like a fangirl, like that type of person. I was just kind of like chill, and if I was like Sheila needed anything, I would get her like products and stuff. So I was kind of like the assistant, and I was just kind of observing everything very like quietly. And then she gets a call. She answers. It's Damian Williams. We can't believe it. It's crazy. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. And she holds up her phone. This was like right at when she was getting done with her makeup. So she holds up her phone, and me, Sheila, and our manager at the time, Lori, we all get in the frame and say hi, and got to wave to Damian Williams, say hi to him, and tell him good luck. But yeah, that was so cool. That was the coolest thing that has ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Just because like I've been watching them all season from start to finish, and getting to see one of the players kind of behind the scenes in person, and me not being like a fangirl, like, oh, I want to get a picture of this situation, because you know me, I get pictures of everything. I have no pictures of that like day at all. I have no videos. I have nothing but my memory.
Yep.
And that's what makes it so great, I think.
Yep. The more you think about it, the longer that memory stays alive in your head. And well, Chiefs fans know the significance of Damian Williams in that Super Bowl game. As Mitch Holthus would say, he ran into immortality to taste that sweet nectar of the end zone.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and dig into it, the entirety of the Super Bowl. Spoiler alert, I just spoiled the last two plays of the Super Bowl that allowed the Chiefs to win, but spoiler alert, we all knew that.
We all knew that.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it this long.
We've watched it how many times?
So
many times.
Thankfully, you know, the Chiefs are known to play down by a deficit, but the first quarter did not start that way, as the 49ers only got a field goal, and then the Chiefs had a 7-3 lead at that point. And then the second quarter was literally just sort of a flip of the other teams, where the Chiefs only scored a field goal and the 49ers scored a touchdown. So going into halftime, it was 10-10, completely tied. So do you remember how you were feeling about around that time?
I was kind of nervous. I was like, this is going pretty well. It's going better than like some of the games have in the past. But anything can happen. And I'm like, these guys are going to try and make something happen. And I had a feeling deep inside. I'm like, I think it's going to happen this year. But I was still in that state of, I'm nervous. What's going to happen? Like, I hope nobody gets injured that we need. We need to just chill and find something that works.
Yep. So third quarter begins, and it's only 2 scores, and they're both from San Francisco. So they score a field goal to start, and then it is 20-10 going into the fourth quarter. And there's that famous picture of like Mahomes has gotten picked off and all that midway through the fourth quarter. The 49ers are assumed to have won the game. And then the Chiefs put up a score very quickly, and they make it only to 20-17. So the 49ers still have a chance. They have a chance to keep it up. They
gave them a chance.
They can't convert on the plays they needed. So Chiefs get the ball back. Damian Williams makes his first run to actually take the lead for the Chiefs to make it 24-20. And then 49ers again had their chance on offense to make something happen. Chris Jones, called back earlier, said, no, sir, you're not going to get any of these passes off. I will swat them down immediately.
Yep.
So the Chiefs get the ball back with the lead, and we saw in Super Bowl 57, McKinnon do his slide. You're in church. That's probably a callback to Damian Williams running it in, but we get to celebrate that the score was more.
Yeah.
It was so the final score 31-20. Chiefs make another double-digit deficit makeup. So
come back.
All 3 games in the playoffs, they had won their game by having been down by at least 2 scores or more in all of those games and came out to win. Talk about remarkable.
For sure.
Talk about a roller coaster. And then the event that follows is talk about having so much blind confidence in this team going forward that they can make magic happen whenever they choose. So jubilation is an understatement that night. Screamed my head off. Couldn't sleep. Celebrated like crazy.
Yep, fireworks going off again.
And then we're contemplating, and we find out when the parade is. We're definitely going. We're definitely making our way there. I don't care what it takes.
Making my way downtown.
So, those a few weeks ago or months ago by this point that were at the 57 Super Bowl parade, that was a little, by a little mean a lot, nicer, warmer weather than we had it that year in 2020.
We got lucky.
It was a blistering cold.
It was also like spitting snow and ice and rain that day too.
Yep. So deterred a lot of the kingdom from showing up. We're in the pictures of the location, so we can open that picture and be able to find at least
it's like, we're standing
our section
right
is. I don't know
there.
if we'll see our heads, but we know where we were standing. And the fantastic showmanship and speeches that all the players, especially Mahomes and Travis, gave. So, a lot of those quotes are getting filtered out now because of the newer ones.
Yeah, that's true.
The Know Your Role at Burrowhead, and his na-na-na-nas. But it was a
Put
very...
on camera too.
It was all very fight for your righty that night.
Yeah, it was.
That mid-morning to
Kick it!
afternoon. Yeah. Everybody in Chiefs Team has to have that like ingrained in their head.
Yep.
Just like you never have to hear the actual words to Rolling Stones "Start Me Up" ever again. You just need to hear the beginning part, and then you fill in the rest. Whatever generation you went to, who was your kicker kicking off? Which, you know, we talked a few shows ago. Wonder if we'll ever get to a point where you won't need to have the kickoff because no one's ever going to do the kickoff. So
yeah.
Are they going to take away our starting me up of the game? Whole ordeal experience.
The whole experience.
Yeah.
It's a whole experience. So, like, if it's gone, then what the heck do they do?
Yep. So, and then as we all know how 2020 eventually went within real life and that, but that's not this type of podcast, what the conversation's for.
Yeah.
2020 is going to be our next episode. I doubt it's going to be
as long
as in depth of conversations because
the
guidelines stated that only the first higher priorities or whatever could do it. So
yeah, I guess I forgot that some people got to do still go and be in the stadium.
So if you figure Arrowhead's about 70,000, I think there was maybe 10,000 very, very spread out all around.
Yep.
So we ended up saying, no, we'll do the responsible thing. We'll come back next year in 2021 calendar year season and spend the 2020 watching from our home again.
Yep.
So the next episode, that's what you'll hear about, the 2020 season and the unfortunate Super Bowl loss that we all had to experience and know what that's like again. So thank you all for joining us for the Home of the Chiefs podcast presented by KC Sports Company. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Chiefs!